Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Miguel Nuva, and I'm joining here today to talk about a Godzilla 2 2018 video from the legendary series. Now, Rob from ETN, I would like to call this video March to the King, just like you. I would like to march to the King with you, but if you do not want me to call it March to the King, I will not call this series March to the King going forward. But if you are okay with it, I'm marching to the King with you, friend. Anyway, I'm going to talk about in this video what I think Godzilla 2 is going to be like. My thoughts for Godzilla 2 are going to be basically Godzilla versus Rodan versus Mothra. I don't think King Ghidorah is going to be in the second film. He might be saved for the third film. But what I think is going to happen is, because back in the 60s, in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, it worked because Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan all had solo films. Ghidorah was being introduced, and back in the day, everybody know what Godzilla could do, what Mothra could do, what Rodan could do, so it made that movie big. I think in order to capture that same momentum going forward, Godzilla 2 needs to be Godzilla versus Mothra versus Rodan, and save Ghidorah for the third movie after we introduce Mothra and Rodan. Here's how I would do the second film. Godzilla and Rodan need to be treated as equals. Neither should be able to gain an advantage on each other. Godzilla should hit Rodan with his atomic breath. Rodan needs to shake it off. Rodan should be a little faster than Godzilla, and in return, Godzilla's a little stronger than Rodan. But they should be able to have an even fight both ways. Mothra needs to be our underdog here. She can start in lava form at the beginning of the movie, get owned by Godzilla or owned by Rodan. She turns into her adult form for the final battle, and against all odds, Mothra needs to be the one to defeat Godzilla and Rodan, whether that be simply leading them back to sea or convincing them to end the fighting. I want Godzilla and Rodan to be rivals. Like, let's just say, we know Godzilla hunted the Mutos. Let's say Rodan was also a top alpha predator. He hunted the Mutos too, and Godzilla was his direct rival. Godzilla and Rodan, as I say, would be fighting each other. They would not care about collateral damage. Mothra would care about the humans. She would care about collateral damage to the point where she would try to get Godzilla and Rodan because she knows they are powerful allies and that the Earth needs them. She would try to get them to return to the sea and get out of the human cities. I describe Godzilla and Rodan as defenders of the Earth on its own, where Mothra is a defender of humanity, where she will try to actually help the humans. I will talk about Rodan and Mothra's role in a later video in depth, but the second movie, I think it should be Godzilla versus Mothra versus Rodan. We'll get Godzilla versus Mothra, we'll get Rodan versus Mothra, we'll get Godzilla versus Rodan. The final battle of the movie will be Mothra saving the day and defeating Godzilla and Rodan. Now, as I said, King Ghidorah will be saved for the third movie. King Ghidorah can arrive in the second movie. The humans can interact with King Ghidorah in the second movie, but King Ghidorah in all his glory does not appear to either the post-credit scene or the last scene in the movie, if I was doing it personally. I think Godzilla 2 should lead directly into Godzilla 3. I will discuss how I want Godzilla 3 and King Ghidorah to go in another video later, but as of right now, I think Godzilla 2 should be Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan. I think all three monsters should fight each other. I think Godzilla and Rodan need to be equals. That is very important that I stress that Godzilla and Rodan should not be able to gain an advantage against each other. A fight between Godzilla and Rodan, let's say Serizawa describes it, a fight between Godzilla and Rodan should be able to last days or even weeks if nobody else interferes to stop it. It should be just a struggle that would leave both of them dead, even if they just fight each other with nothing stopping it. Godzilla and Rodan need to be equals like they were in the Showa series. That is very important. Godzilla and Rodan also need to be shown to be smart. Mothra needs to be just a little bit smarter than them. So basically, Mothra is the smartest. She's not the fastest flyer. Rodan is the fastest flyer. She's not the strongest. Godzilla is the strongest in pure strength, pure brute strength. Rodan is nearly immune to Godzilla's ray. Godzilla's ray can have some effect on Rodan, but Rodan should be able to shake it off for the most part. I would actually argue, yeah, let's keep it. Rodan can take the ray. It does a little damage, but it does nowhere near what it did to the female Muto. Rodan should be able to shake it off and get back to fighting quickly. It should be basically like a stun or like a water gun being shot at a person. It will stop you for a little while, but you can keep going through the water hose. Mothra should be hurt by the atomic ray. Mothra should not be able to fight Godzilla and Rodan directly, but she, especially in her larva form, her moth form would have special powers to neutralize them, and she should be defensive and be very smart. A very defensive and smart brawler. Godzilla and Rodan should be brute force. Mothra should be smart, and Rodan should be the fastest flyer. And another thing, I would like to see Godzilla's ray. I would like to see Godzilla actually attack the city so we can get a better understanding of what his ray does, his breath does. Because some people say it's weak, some people say it's strong to them. I would like to see Godzilla's ray just melt a building, like leave nothing there. Like napalm. I want Godzilla's breath to be like napalm, like a fire you can extinguish, and then it's radioactive on top of that. So a double killer, basically, if his breath was to hit a building or a city. I would also like Rodan to have no breath weapon. Keep his wings. Rodan's wing, when he flaps his wings, it should look like a hurricane is coming through the city. Like a Category 6 hurricane. That's how strong I want Rodan's winds to be. Mothra can have that too. I don't think Mothra will have the scales. I would like if she had the scale powder attack. I do think she could have lightning. I seen a pretty cool fan poster of Mothra with her wing lightning that looked pretty cool. I think she could have that. But as I said before, Mothra should be defensive. She should be smart. She should be trying to just lure Godzilla and Rodan out the city and get them back on the same path. Rodan and Godzilla should be brute force fighting each other. I'm Miguel Nuva, and I am signing off today. If you like this video, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.